shit. Yeah.
Stop hitting me.
Make a building collapse, drop the bomb, bomb, bomb. Bring it like that.
Hey, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, you're watching the original Rebels Racing League.
Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall, and you're here live for the Original Rebels Truck Series doubleheader, starting off with the Original Rebels Outlaw Series here at Kansas Speedway. My name's Josh Hall. This is the playoffs, baby. We are in the round of 12. And let's take a look at those 12 drivers right now. Oh, looks like I moved those point standings to the wrong spot, so give me just a moment. There we go. And as we can see on our screen, Jeremy Burrell is your current point leader with Tracy Parsons, Adam Lang, Steve Loving, Daniel Stewart, Andrew Kurtz, Fry Hubbard, Matt Kleeman, Steve McDonald, Eric Burkhalter, Braden Pollock, and James Jones moving on into the round of 12. And 4 drivers will be eliminated tonight before we move on to the round of 8. So we can see where your favorite driver is if they are still in the playoffs here. Now let's take a look at what's going on out on track right now. As we see Daniel Stewart losing it almost by himself there, coming off of turn number 2. And the track is looking pretty slick tonight. But it's also looking pretty racy, so we're going to have to see how these guys fare out on this tricky track here. That is Kansas Speedway. Corey Bragg Jr. already says on the Facebook, let's go Ryan and Tyler. Evil Empire Sim Sports, Ryan and Tyler, let's go boys, as practice is over and we're going to get ourselves into qualifying here. Again, thanks for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcast. Again, my name is Josh Hall. Don't forget to hit like, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're rooting on here tonight as we get into the nitty-gritty of the playoffs here as we're in the round of 12. Matt Kleeman, your first truck out on track here. And that familiar 19 machine. Kansas is a bit of a tricky speedway here. It's much shaped very similar to Chicago or Kentucky, even Las Vegas, but runs completely different. You're going to see these guys running more middle to high line here, I think, in these trucks, trying to keep them as wound up as they can to get the best run off the corner. But again, wide enough to really run anywhere on the track, as we see Kleeman really running that middle lane there, as I was just saying. Kleeman's still one of your playoff hopefuls here. So you can see the gold banner on the windshield there. Currently in the 3rd position. Chris Mclean running the current fastest lap with a 31:16. As Kleeman comes across the line this time, working the apron, trying to get as much out of the truck as he can, and he's going to move up currently into the 2nd position. McLean just ran a 31:04, which puts him in the pole. Kleeman just ran a 31:16. See Tyler Did Talent coming up on track right now in that 37 machine. Michael Kosick currently running a 31:16 as well, same time as Kleeman. Move him tied for that 2nd position, but Kosick's going to get the advantage there. His times are really close across the board. Let's put the tower up there so you can really see just how close these times are. See Tyler coming across the line here. Zach Westside says the beginning of a very interesting night. And I think I'm going to agree with you, Zach, as last time we ran Kansas, it was a bit of a mess. It was kind of a surprising show. And tonight we're going to see something very similar here as well. Paul Patson says watching. Thanks, Paul, for joining in here on Intensity. Tyler's going to muster out just enough for 7th place. Fry Hubbard, another one of your playoff hopefuls, out on track right now. Fry just a couple points ahead of the cut line. Before we're going to be keeping our eye on, or 5 we're going to be keeping our eye on tonight would be Matt Kleeman, who's on the bubble. Then Steve McDonald, Eric Burkhalter, Brandon Pollock, and James Jones all below that cut line. Let's take a look at Jeremy Barol, who is your current points leader by 6 points over Tracy Passings. Got a great view down the backstretch here tonight. See if I can get a view of the actual point standings for you guys tonight. Oops, sorry about my computer glitching there for a second. Sorry about that. A little technical glitch there, but we got that. No, doesn't want to stay. Apologize, folks. At least it's just during qualifying and not during the race. Let's take a look, see who else is out on track right now. John Schmiel back in the truck after April took over that truck last week. As John's finishing up his qualifying attempt. We see Ryan Huff out on track right now in the 73, just starting his qualifying attempt tonight. Great view of this track right here, and you can see just how much this track really widens out through the corner, and then as you get down the backstretch, it gets much narrower, and you'll see these trucks really trying to fight to get single file down the straightaways. Ryan Huff right up against the wall around that high line, which should be the preferred line around here tonight. Now Huff running that low line through turns 1 and 2. See if he migrates back up to the high side here. No, he's going to stay down the bottom. And in qualifying, you can run down there. It gets really loose, but it's going to, in the race, that'll actually burn the tires off real quick. And you can get yourself in trouble trying to run that low line like that. As Huff's going to move himself up into the 7th position. Let's take a look at the official point standings as we run right now. You can see Jeremy Burrell in the lead with 20.54. Tracy Passion's 6 points back. 9 points back to Adam Lang. Steve Loving, 12 points back. So tight battle, but you can see down at the bubble there, we've got a two-way tie for 7th. So Fry Hubbard, Matt Kleeman, both technically on the bubble with 238. Andrew Kurtz and Daniel Stewart could be in trouble too, as the points are very, very tight from top to bottom. Realistically, I would put 4th on back in a place where they could all be knocked out of the playoffs tonight with a bad finish. So we'll see how things roll out here. This qualifying is still underway. Looks like we've got about a minute left before we get racing here. As Evil Empire Motors or Sim Sport says, let's go Tyler to Talent and Ryan Huff. Corey asked me to check on Huff, who had the late qualifying there. And we want to thank our sponsors here tonight, of course, as always, Magic Mike Motorsports. I'm sorry, Mesa Motorsports as our series sponsor, as well as coming on tonight to sponsor the race is Superior Electric. So check them out. The number will be on the screen. It's 276-492-3328. That's Superior Electric. So check them out. Aaron Tyler Adcock says, let's go. Tracy Parsons, Eric Burkholder, and Chris Mclean. Again, don't forget, we have the chat here. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. No matter what platform you're watching on, you can interact with us here tonight, or interact with me tonight. Let me know who you're cheering for, and we can talk about the race together. But right now, we got trucks coming on pit road. Let's take a look at our grid as Adam Lang will be your peg leg belts pole winner tonight. Of course, I forgot our starting grid is brought to you by Magic Mike Motorsports. Chris McLean starting to the outside in the 05 machine. Then Daniel Stewart in the 09. He'll be rolling off 3rd with Steve Loving in 4th place. 5th place belongs to Steve McDonald and Fry Hubbard, your 6th starting position. Ryan Huff in the 73. He'll be rolling off in 7th with Michael Kosick in the 8th position. 9th place, Matt Kleeman, and then rounding out row 5, your top 10, Jake Ellingson. Andy Kurtz, he'll be starting off in 11th in the 48 machine with Tyler DeTalent. In the 37 in row number 6. Row 7 will be Jeremy Burrell, our current points leader, and Travis Bieber in the 114 in the 14th position. Brandon Pollock In the 1, he'll be rolling off 15th with Josh Anderson in the 16th position. 17th, you'll find Tracy Passons fighting his way from the back here to get to the front to get a good points night tonight with with Eric Burkhalter to his outside in 18th. 19th, James Jones and John Smeal will round out row number 10. Row 11, you'll find Mike Bertosa Jr. in the 43 and Phil the Hitman Manzo in 22nd. 23rd belongs to Charlie Gates Jr. with Michael Swink in the 24th position in the 18 machine. 25th is Greg Froelich, and rounding out the field tonight, the 4 of Kai Schappert. So as we get ready to roll off here on our pace laps, the field is set behind the pace truck. We're getting ready for 133 laps here at Kansas Speedway. So Adam Lang actually has the disadvantage being the pole sitter at this track, being stuck on the bottom. The only advantage he has is he has the right to go when he can. Actually, on the initial start, you have to go on green. So the advantage at this point is going to go to Mclean, as he's going to have that great run into turn 1 on the high side. So it'll be interesting to see what Adam can do to try to hold on to that top spot. Steve Loving, though, with a great qualifying attempt. Trying to lock himself into the top 8 as the pace truck's getting ready to take that left-hand turn. On the pit road, Adam Lang's going to lead him down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Kansas. And a good jump for Adam Lang on that low side. He's going to sneak up in front of Chris Mclean going into turns 1 and 2, and he's going to take that top spot away. And already he's starting to migrate at the bottom of the track early in this run already. Figure these guys will be trying to move right up the track as quickly as possible. As here we go, see McLean diving down to the bottom, trying to take the lead away. They come off of turn number 2, side by side for the lead. McLean all the way down to the grass, but McLean is going to lead that lap here. Here comes Lang trying to fight back on the high side, just not able to get that run off the corner. Meanwhile, Steve Loving's moved up into the 3rd position. Getting around Daniel Stewart as McLean now under fire on the low side. As they come down the front stretch, McLean on that high side is going to lead that lap as well, but just by a nose. They are still fighting side by side for the lead. Oh, a little movement in the back of the pack. One truck all the way down on the apron. That's Travis Beavers. They were just 3 wide in the back here. No harm, no foul. As Daniel Stewart now looking underneath Steve Loving to take away that 3rd position. Here comes Adam Lang all the way down to the grass, trying to get as much of a momentum run as he can at Chris McLean as they charge into turn number 1. A little further back, Fry Hubbard trying to work his way around Steve McDonald, trying to take that 4th position away. And back at the front, another battle for the lead as Lang is back down on the bottom, trying to get that good run off the corner, could not make the pass. They continue to be side by side through turns 1 and 2. Just behind him, Steve Loving has made his way back around Daniel Stewart to reclaim the 3rd position. Stewart does look down the bottom. Now Loving's going to take a look to the inside of Lang as they rocket into turns 3 and 4 and move Loving up into the 2nd position. But here comes Lang fighting back on the outside as they come through the front stretch and into turn number 1. And Loving has now squeezed his way up into the second position. Just behind Daniel Stewart now. Trying to take a look down underneath Adam Lang. Not able to do it. Here comes Fry Hubbard, though. Trying to take a look down on Daniel Stewart now. Fry Hubbard moving himself up into the 4th position as they come down the front stretch and into turn number 1. Daniel Stewart, though, continuing the fight on that high side. A little further back, we've got a battle back here between Michael Kosick and Ryan Huff. While that's going on, we got a battle for a second as Lang has moved back down to the inside, trying to get underneath Steve Loving here, and he's going to get under him. The question is he going to be able to pass him as they work their way through turns 3 and 4? Side by side, still for that second position between Loving and Lang. And Mclean is loving to see that because that's allowing him to pull away a little bit from those two as Lang gets the good run off the corner. Looks like Loving might have got a little loose there, slipped up the track, and allowed Lang to get sole possession of that second position. Kevin Kinder says, hello, Mr. Hall. Looks like a fast track tonight. It does look like a fast track tonight as we're seeing a very racy track as we got almost 3 wide back here. Okay, but they get it all singles filed out here. See Jake Ellingson running that Halloween scheme. But at the front of the back, now your leaders back to being single file. Ellingson now taking a look down to the bottom, trying to get around Jeremy Baralt, but Baralt fighting back on that high side. Baralt is your points leader. Doesn't need to win tonight to advance, but getting a little bit of a cushion in points wouldn't be a bad thing as well. Let's go take a look at your second place in points. Tracy Pastons all the way back, currently in the 15th position. He's only gained 2 spots from we dropped the green flag here, so Tracy's struggling early on here in the race as he tries to move his way back up towards the front. Speaking up front, we got a little battle for position here. Michael Kosick taking a look underneath the 68 of Steve McDonald. Kosick trying to take away that 6th position. They come side by side off of 2 and down the backstretch. Now we're starting to see some trucks really migrate up to that high side as we see that low side really start to eat off tires and able not to hold it down as well as they'd like. As we ride along here with Steve McDonald, we can hear how he's working the throttle here. A little bit of a lift as he works his way back down to the bottom, trying to get underneath the 09. He's going to try to sneak right underneath there, but just not able to get the nose down underneath. Ooh, working the throttle just a little bit. You saw him get a little loose there off the corner. Able to carry the throttle really, really long into the corner, something I wasn't expecting here tonight. So we're seeing some great battles all over the track right now. Speaking of battles, we got a battle for the lead Adam Lang looking back down underneath Chris Mclean. Trying to use that bottom line. Mike is hooking that white line just a little bit. Trying to use a little bit of the apron to help the car turn a little bit. It looks like it worked for him a little bit because he's going to leave that lap right there and try to slide himself up in front of Chris Mclean. Meanwhile, while all that was going on, Steve Loving's been able to pull right up to this battle. But McLean is going to hold on to the lead. As they rocket down the backstretch, you can see too wide, a little further back in the pack. Andy Kurtz, one of the first drivers I've seen really get up to that high lane and try to make that wall work. And it, so far, it looks like it's working for him because he's already up 2 spots from where we started. And continue to try to move himself forwards. Back up front. 3-car battle still for the lead. And they're pulling away from 4th place. Fry Hubbard, who's got Daniel Stewart all over his back bumper. And this is the battle for 4th position. See, Daniel Stewart got the great run down off the corner. Looks up to the high side, but just Fry Hubbard's able to get into the throttle just a little bit sooner, but now you see Stewart pulling right up alongside. Some great views here. Oh, almost some contact between the two. Some great driving between those two. Oh, no, they do make contact. Fry Hubbard and Daniel Stewart make some contact down the front stretch. And that might have done a little bit of damage to the 14 machine. He's really slowed down after making that bit of contact, as he's got the 68 of Steve McDonald all over his front bumper here. And let's yeah, you can see right there on the bottom of the right side of the car, you can see the crinkle in the hood. So Fry Hubbard getting a little bit of damage from that ordeal. Meanwhile, Adam Lang has gotten around Chris Mclean. McLean comes fighting back on the inside. McLean is not trying to give up this lead here. They're still side by side for the lead. And now after passing Fry Hubbard, Daniel Stewart just got around Steve Loving and moved himself up into the 3rd position. And currently he's one of the fastest cars on the track. See one car, the 55, Charlie Gates Jr. coming down onto pit road. As we work lap 25 of 133, sorry, 24 of 133, and still green. So no cautions up to this point. Now Steve Loving starting to slide backwards himself as he just got passed by the 68 of Steve McDonald and Kosick as well. And here comes Andy Kurtz trying to move around Steve Loving as well. Steve Loving currently coming in was in the 4th position. But only 6 points above the cut line. So Steve trying to have a good battle tonight here to stay up in the top 8 to move on to the next round of the playoffs. Fry Hubbard continues his backward slide after that contact with Stewart. If we ride along on the gear, the roll bar here inside, that you can see just how much that right front is pushed up after making contact with Daniel Stewart, and you wouldn't think that'd be all that detrimental to that machine, but you can see. Oh, he gets real loose there. Almost loses it. Great hands there from Fry Hubbard. We were riding along with that one. You could hear him getting really loose there. So I think it's a bad matter of the damage as well as having a very, very loose race truck right now, to why Fry Hubbard continues his backward slide. Kosick has now gotten around Daniel Stewart. Stewart's starting to foul back now. So from being one of the fastest cars on track just a few moments ago, to losing 4 spots and falling back into the 6th position. Also starting to see a couple pit stops. So Charlie Gates Jr., Greg Froelich both making pit stops. Sorry, Greg Froelich pit on lap number 4. Charlie Gates Jr. just pit on lap 22. As the battle up here, Kosick is going to move his way around Andy Kurtz and move himself up into the 4th position. And now Steve McDonald is starting to gap this group behind him. Speaking of gapping groups, these two are starting to pull away from the rest of the field. And here comes Chris Mclean looking back down to the bottom side. Not quite able to do anything with Adam Lang as they come across the line to work lap number 31. So just a couple of laps away from 100 to go. Josh Anderson just hit pit road. I imagine we'll start seeing some vehicles coming down pit road in the next few laps, as I believe the pit window should be somewhere around 40 to 45 laps. Although for most of these guys, they've already hit their tire window, as we heard with Fry Hubbard. These tires are starting to give up real quick as the run goes on. Take a look at our where our points leaders are. Started with your point leader, Jamie Burrell, currently running up in the 6th position. Having a solid day so far, trying to get around Michael Kosick to gain another spot. Tracy Passons coming in 2nd in points, currently in the 13th position. Already up 4 spots from where he started as he's working around the outside of Tyler DeTalent. You see Steve Loving right there in front of him. Adam Lang is currently 3rd in points, currently your leader, although Chris Mclean is still trying to get back around him. And fourth in points, Steve Loving, as he's currently in a three-wide battle with Tracy Passons and Tyler DeTalon, and Passons going to get around both of them. And that's going to move Loving back into the 13th position. Daniel Stewart currently 5 points behind where he started, as Stewart, one of the first cars to come on the pit road. James Jones also on the pit road. So we got another battle for the lead here. I'll put your pit lane information down at the bottom. So Daniel Stewart, James Jones, Mike Bertosa Jr. all on pit road. The way the pit works, if you haven't been noticed before, if it's flashing, that means they're on their way to their pit stall. If it solidly says pit, that means that they're currently getting service. If there's a time, that's the time that they stopped in their pit stop. And once their name goes away, that means they're off a pit road. So we got a battle shaping back up for the lead. It's Chris Mclean down on the bottom. Adam Lang up on the high side. Neither one of them really giving each other too much room. And Lang's going to get back around to take over the lead. Neither one of these guys wants to lay down and let the other one by, so we're seeing some great hard racing as here comes Mclean looking back down to the bottom. Adam Lang right up against the wall. McLean's going to take the lead away as they come up on the lap car of Kai Shapert. They're going to be 3 wide with the lap car as they go through turns 1 and 2. Adam Lang fighting back on the bottom, trying to retake the lead here. But McLean up on that high side. We've seen that high side be so much better off the corner. And McLean's just able to rock it back around. As we continue to look through our current point standings, Andrew Kurtz currently running in the fourth position, coming in 6th in points. Then 7th in points, Fry Hubbard, currently on pit road, getting his service done, and he's currently tied with Matt Kleeman, and Kleeman is currently running in the 10th position as he goes around Fry Hubbard to put him 1 lap down. Steve McDonald coming in just under the points, the cut line. Currently in 3rd, having a great run tonight. Eric Burkhalter in 13th. Haven't said much about him tonight. Just solidly having a good run here tonight. Brandon Pollock in the 8th position, trying to maximize his points day. And finally, James Jones, the last car in the playoffs here. Currently 1 lap down. Jones just made his pit stop on lap 34. That's why he's a lap down. So he's trying to battle back to get himself back on the lead lap and run a little different strategy. As Steve Loving now on the pit road. Ooh, some damage to the right side of that 27 machine as well. So it looks like Loving might have been up into the wall. We'll follow his pit stop here, see if he decides to use his reset or if he just stays out there with getting some of the damage fixed. Yep, he's going to use that reset. Left side tires going on the vehicle right now. He's down and away. And Chris Mclean continues to be your leader. And now Adam Lang has fallen off quite a bit. He's about just over a second back. As we got Andy Kurtz and Steve McDonald battling at it. And Jay Baralt in the mix as well. So a couple of our points drivers, our championship hopefuls, in the mix here with the lap car, the 07. Josh Anderson trying to make his way through here as safely as he can. Thought about making a 3-wide split in the two, but he decided that better of it. As Adam Lang is now on pit road. Oh, gets it locked up and slowed down and able to get on the pit road. Also on pit road, Travis Bieber and Kai Shaprit. You see that 52 machine running a lot of rear brake, which helps the truck turn, but doesn't help you get into the pits as easily, as you can easily lock up the tires. Here comes our leader, Chris Mclean. Also on pit road, Andy Kurtz, Jerry Baralt, all on pit road, Steve McDonald, Michael Kosick, Brandon Pollock, Tyler DeTalent, Gracie Parsons also on pit road, Ryan Huff, Eric Burkhalter. So right around where I said, I figured these guys would be coming in about lap 45, as pit road is being a very busy place. See Bieber pull it down and away. Andy Kurtz down and away as well. Baralt back there, Kosick. McDonald away as well. That's going to give the lead over to the 61 machine of Jake Ellingson. It's a pretty cool looking truck that he's got painted up there for Halloween, as he's going to come make his way down on the pit road. Matt Cleveland and Phil Manzo also on pit road. Hitman just finished getting his service done. Works his way back out on track. Ellingson, your current leader for the time being, until he stops to make his service. So when it all cycles around, Daniel Stewart will be your leader. Now, Stewart did come in 10 laps earlier than Adam Lang and Chris Mclean, but currently has a 6-second lead over Lang. And the caution is out. It looks like Bertosa having some issues there on the backstretch. We see the back end of that truck all pushed in. That's going to bring up our first Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Not really sure what happened there. Let me see if I can find it. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what happened, so bear with me just a moment. We try to figure out what happened to... Well, I found it, and... See, the 43 of Bertosa gets a little loose up in front of Adam Lang, and Lang just doesn't really have anything he can do when that truck checks up as hard as it did in front of him, and Bertosa just slides down, avoids that oddly shaped wall down there. So Daniel Stewart Adam Lang, a bunch of cars coming down on the pit road. Don't think these guys will be taking tires. I imagine they're just taking some fuel. Yep, you see Adam Lang down and away, so just looking to take some fuel to shorten their pit stop later on. Aaron Mack says, let's go Fry in the chat. So that's going to give the lead back to Chris Mclean. With Steve McDonald in second, Michael Kosick, Brandon Pollock, and Tracy Passons making his way back up into the 5th position. So trying to minimize as much point loss as he can. Don't forget to join us after this one today, as we'll have the second race in our truck doubleheader with the Original Rebels Truck Series. Also taking on Kansas Speedway here, also brought to you by Superior Electric. So you're not going to want to miss the second race. If it's as good as this one's turning out to be, you're in for a treat. And then tomorrow night we'll have the Extreme Forces Monday Mayhem, as they're going to be taking on Concord Speedway in the street stocks. So you're not going to want to miss that one. Followed by Tuesday Night Tussle, as the next gen cars take on Talladega Super Speedway. Wednesday, of course, you'll have your doubleheader with the Mayhem Modifieds, followed by the SCSRA Xfinity Series race, which will also be here at Kansas Speedway. So a lot of races from Kansas this week. Thursday, you have your Thunderstruck Series. Friday, the Extreme Xfinity Series. Extreme Xfinity will be running at Mid-Ohio this week. So you're going to see the Original Rebels turning left and right this week. And then the Send It Cup Series will have their round of 8 race this coming week. As the lights are off on the pace truck, we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. And Chris Mclean, your leader, is going to choose the outside lane, putting Steve McDonald down on the bottom. Kinder, I'm looking forward to that race because I'm going to try to run it. That way I can finally say that I was able to beat you at a track. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Although Mid-Ohio is a very, very difficult track. A lot of elevation change, not a lot of grip. It's going to be a tough one in the Xfinity cars for sure. But I'll be looking for the practice because I know the SCSRA is going to be running Mid-Ohio as well in the playoffs. So I'm looking to get a little extra seat time here. But we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Chris McLean's going to lead them back down to the starting zone. Green flag is back in the air. We're back racing here at Kansas, and a good jump for McDonald down on that low side. Almost able to get in front of McLean here, and almost looks like McLean made the wrong choice on the start, as McDonald's able to stay up ahead of him here as they go into turns 3 and 4. And is McDonald's going to be able to clear him coming off of turn number 4? Down the front stretch they come, and give the lead to Stephen McDonald that time by, but they are side by side as they continue into turns 1 and 2. Great battle here for the lead. Neither driver wanted to give up the fight. Now McLean's going to have the advantage as they come down the backstretch, but into turn number 3, McDonald fighting back hard on that inside. trying to retake that position. And as they come off of turn number 4, down the front stretch, McDonald's going to push Mclean up the track just a little bit. McDonald's going to lead that one as well. So some great side-by-side racing as they come off of turn number 2. Continuing the battle hard for the lead. And surprisingly, Michael Kosick has not been able to pull up on these two. Normally, we've seen tonight when two cars battle side by side for the lead like that, it allows the rest of the field to close it right in immediately. But right now, Kosick is just kind of hanging back, watching this from afar. As we see Mclean get a little loose there through turns 1 and 2. Gets the good run off the corner on the high side yet again. But McDonald's continues to fight back down on that low side. And as they come off of turn number 4, he almost had him clear. But across the stripe, it will be Stephen McDonald. Now it looks like Stephen McDonald's going to clear the 05 machine, but not able to slide up in front of him as Mclean gets another great run off that high side. Able to pull back alongside. And now McDonald is going to clear the 05 of Mclean as they come through turns 1 and 2. And Mclean's going to look to be right there on the back bumper as they come off the corner. And McDonald now slides up in front of Mclean, but McLean thought McLean was trying to do a crossover there, but he's able to stay right there in the tire tracks. And Stacy Passes now has moved up into the 3rd position, and he's coming up to the front quick. Also, Adam Lang back in the mix, restarted towards the back. Already up into the 5th position. They rocket down the backstretch now. Mclean looking down on the low side here, trying to retake the lead. As they come through turns 3 and 4, he's going to clear McDonald. And Sosa Passion's going to join the mix here. We haven't talked about Tracy almost all night tonight. Now here he is, taking over the 2nd position and setting his sights on the lead. A little further back, we've got a battle back here between Michael Kosick and Daniel Stewart. And a little further back, Steve Loving now under attack from Matt Kleeman. Kleeman trying to take away the 10th position, but Loving has that advantage on the higher side. And oh, Loving gets loose there through the corner. Able to hold on to it. Put Kleeman behind him. Now Tracy Passons looking down to the bottom, looking for the lead for the first time tonight. As he gets underneath the 05 of Mclean. They are side by side for the lead. Passons is going to lead that lap as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Passons is going to clear the 05 of Mclean and move him up into the lead. Also put him as our hard charger because he is up 16 spots from where he started. Further proving the point, doesn't matter where you start, more where you finish. Here comes Lang looking to the high side, trying to make it 3 wide as they come off of turn number 4. And they will be 3 wide coming down the front stretch. Stewart all the way down to the bottom, Lang onto the top, McDonald in the middle. And they are 3 wide for 5th place, but Lang is going to have to get out of the throttle and tuck in behind the 68 of Steve McDonald as Daniel Stewart continues to try to work that low line. They are back to 3 wide. Still 3 wide back here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Now Lang's going to fall back into the fifth position by himself, but they continue to run too wide. So some hard racing back here among the top five. As Tracy Passes continues to lead here, but Mclean not giving up the battle. He's going to look back to the high side. Tracy gives him all the room in the world to come off the corner, but Tracy able to stay up ahead of the 05 machine. Your points leader, Jamie Barreau, and the 27 of Steve Loving back here, battling with Matt Kleeman for the top 10 position here. As we've got Stacy Adcock and Scott Adcock both cheering on Tracy in the chat, as Tracy has given up the lead now, and Mclean has regained the lead. Let's take a look at how he did it here, coming down the backstretch. Gets the run, tucks out underneath Tracy here as they come through turns 3 and 4. Just out muscles him coming off of turn number 4 and across the line. That's going to give Mclean the lead. Now Mclean starting to stretch his legs a little bit in that clean air. As Adam Lang now fighting hard on the outside of Michael Kosick, and Fry Hubbard up into the mix as well. And just behind them, we see the 07 of Josh Anderson, who was on pit road so much earlier than everybody else. I think he just didn't like the way his car was handling. Overdrove the tires, burnt them off, got a new set. Now he's used some strategy to get himself back up into the top 10. They continue to run side by side for the 5th position. Now give that 5th position solely to Fry Hubbard. Everything's starting to get a little mellow now. As we're seeing the field pretty much single file coming down the straights here. While I say that, here comes Tracy Passons getting a good run on the 05 of Chris Mclean. As Mclean continues to hold off the 53 machine. One car real slow down on the bottom. It's Mike Bertosa Jr. as he comes to pit road. That will not bring out a caution, so we continue to stay green here. And Chris Mclean continues to lead. A little further back, Steve McDonald under attack from Fry Hubbard. Fry going to use that high side to get right around the 68 machine. And now Fry's going to work his way up to the 09 of Daniel Stewart. Ryan Huff back in the 14th position, trying to get around Brandon Pollock to take away that 14th position. Move Huff up into the 13th position. He's starting to make some moves here later on in the run. And as I get my little calculator out, I believe we are about 15 or so laps away from green flag pit stops again. as Tracy Parsons has the 09 of Daniel Stewart all over that back bumper. He's got Fry looking to the inside. He's got Stewart looking to the outside. Here comes Fry back on the inside. Stewart, though, now giving the big push to Parsons down the backstretch. Even though they're racing hard, they're continuing to work their way up to Chris Mclean, whose lead is now 0.5 seconds. See Adam Lang back there behind Kostic trying to move him sweating forward as well. So here's the strategy in my mind for those watching at home and those who are in the next race. Looks like the pit window is about 40 laps. Lap 85. Sorry, lap 95 would put you right at the fuel window, able to get you there to the end with fuel to spare if there was a green-white checker. So I imagine everybody's fighting right now to get to that lap 95. I don't think we'll see anybody pit before that. And if they do, they're going to have to hope for a yellow or have to save a whole lot of fuel. Battle back here between Steve McDonald and Michael Kostic. Kostic on the high side. And McDonald down on the low side. Here comes Adam Lang giving a big push to Kostic as well. Adam Lang's going to work his way around Kostic. He's going to set his sights on McDonald. Just behind this, Josh Anderson and Matt Kleeman going at it as Kleeman is going to pass Anderson, take over that 10th spot. Another point for the playoff driver. Phil Manso and Brandon Pollock having a great battle back here. It's for 16th and 17th, but Pollock is one of your playoff drivers. And, Charlie Gates does not bring out the yellow, but has some issues down here. It looks like he just pulls down off the track and does not bring out the caution. So no caution, we stay green. And again, I imagine we're going to start seeing some green flag pit stops in about 15 laps. Steve McDonald still battling back here with Daniel Stewart. Stewart on the high side, he's going to pull around that 68 machine. And Steve McDonald having some issues in the later goings of this run, falling backwards. As just behind this, Jeremy Baralt is trying to mix it up here with the 71 Eric Burkhalter. Baralt, your points leader coming in. Doesn't have to win the race, just has to have a good enough day to move himself forward into the next round. That's exactly what we're seeing out of him tonight. Just in front, Daniel Stewart and Steve McDonald continue to go at it here for that fourth position. Stewart all the way up against the wall. McDonald trying to work that low lane, and we've seen it all night, that low lane just not able to get the drive off the corner. But right now we're seeing as the tires wear off, neither line is really getting a good run off the corner as Kai Shappert and Charlie Gates. Sorry, just Kai Shappert. Your first car on the pit road. You see Kai working his way off of pit road. Here comes the leaders by. They're going to take a lap away from Kai here as they come through turns 1 and 2. Fry Hubbard marching his way through the field. He's got around Tracy Passions and Fry up into the second position and stalking Chris Mclean. So Fry Hubbard, who had some damage earlier, had to fall back through the field. That damage really hurting his truck, but now worked his way back up into the second position and is running identical lap times as the leader right now. There we go, that's the graphic I wanted. As you can see, McLean just running just a little bit quicker than Hubbard those last couple laps. That's Kai Shappert on those fresh tires. Makes his way around Hubbard, and you can see just how much quicker those fresh tires are. As Hubbard's going to get his way around the 05 of McLean. To put himself back on the tail end of the lead lap. So as the battle rages on here, Chris McLean is your current leader. And I imagine we are about 5 laps or so away from green flag pit stops. Josh Anderson, James Jones already on pit road. But I don't believe if they stop here, if they're going to have enough time or enough fuel to make it to the end. Jeremy Burrell and Adam Lang going at it back here. So Andy Kurtz getting passed by Michael Kosick. Although Kurtz is going to fight back on the high side. Well, for the back, Steve Loving, Matt Kleeman, Tyler DeTalent, all battling here see Ellingson. Ellingson's been on pit road. I take that back. He last pit on lap 50. Steve McDonald on pit road. McDonald's going to slide down into his box. Oh, he overdrives his box. He's going to have to back up. That's going to cost him a ton of time. As Steve Mclean just goes by to put him a lap down. As this battle continues to rage on here. And your leaders now on to pit road. Got the 05 of McLean, Fry Hubbard, Tracy Passions, Eric Burkhalter, Adam Lang, Michael Kosick, all on pit road. As the field makes their way on the pit road. We'll see who gets the best jump off of pit road here. Chris McLean will be the first one off of pit road, followed by Fry Hubbard, but a huge gap back to Hubbard. Passage though right there, right behind Hubbard. Eric Burkhalter also coming off pit road now. As Andy Kurtz on pit road, Jamie Burrell, Brandon Pollock, Matt Kleeman, John Smeal all coming on the pit road as well. Burrell is down and away. Daniel Stewart coming down pit road. Just going to put Tyler DeTalent up into the lead as we saw the 05 of Chris McLean work his way back around to get back onto the lead lap. And oh! DeTalent gets tagged by Steve Loving. Forces him down onto pit road. And that's going to give the lead to Loving. Scary moment for one of our points leaders. As you can see, these new tires just eating up the 27 machine. As you see Tracy Passions gone by, it's now Loving. He's going to come down on the pit road himself. Ryan Huff. Jake Ellingson also on pit road. So Chris McLean will assume the lead. And it's a big one. As he's got almost a 4-second lead back to the 14 of Fry Hubbard, who has Tracy Passions all over his back bumper. And you see Josh Anderson, the 07 there as well. Now Anderson is a little bit off cycle here. He pit on lap 87. So I don't think that 07 is going to have enough fuel to make it to the end. Meanwhile, battle back here. Andy Kurtz, James Jones going at it. Kurtz up on that high side, able to make that good run off the corner. But Jones not giving up the spot. As Daniel Stewart comes into the picture as well. Stewart knows that he's close to that cut line. He's got to get every point he can. they continue to rock it side by side. Again, Stewart currently in fourth in points, tied with Steve Loving with 2042. Kurt's back in sixth with 2040, so only 2 points behind Stewart coming into the race. As Tracy Passons has now gotten around Fry Hubbard for that second position. But the lead that Chris McLean has continues to grow as it's now over 4 seconds. A little battle back here is Michael Kosick is trying to get just got around Burkhalter. We see McDonald right there in front. Now Burkhalter looking down to the inside of Michael Kosick. As we have 30 laps to go here at Kansas. Tracy Passons and Fry Hubbard continuing the battle. Passons currently just out in front of Fry. As they are trying to run down the leader who has just over a 4-second lead. Here comes Hubbard now looking down to the inside. And Hubbard comes off of the tri-oval there into turn one, and Hubbard is going to move himself up into the second position. But here comes Passons fighting back down on the inside. As they are still side by side for that second position. And once they got side by side, Chris McLean's lead has just started to grow. As it was right at 4 seconds about 2 laps ago. Now it's right at 4.5 seconds. And the more these guys run side by side, the slower they're going to run. The better that's going to be for Chris McLean. Another battle back here. You got Steve McDonald and Daniel Stewart continued to battle hard here. It's for 6th and 7th on track. With Burkhalter and Kosick right there in the mix in case something goes wrong. He's able to jump in and attack. Get a couple positions here. Tracy able to hold Fry Hubbard behind him. Hubbard starts to get a good run off of the corner, off of turn number 2, or through the front stretch here. Every lap, I've been watching the lead shrink. But then off of turn 2, Tracy does something totally different than Fry's able to do. And he's able to carry so much more speed into turns 3 and 4 than Hubbard's able to. So it looks like Hubbard is better than Tracy everywhere on the track, except for turns 3 and 4. But Tracy's good enough through turns 3 and 4 that he takes back everything that he lost the other 3/4 of a lap. We have less than 25 laps to go. Chris McLean's lead continues to grow, as it's now 4.7 seconds over Tracy Parsons. Again, Tracy cannot be upset with this run. Started back in the 17th position, up 15 spots. Currently running in second. It's got to be a good rebound for him. It's got to feel pretty good for him to know that he can rebound and make up all those shortcomings that he had in qualifying. Steve Loving and James Jones going back at it back here. As Loving's going to get around Jones. Move Loving up into the 11th position. Just behind that, Ryan Huff and Brendan Pollock are going at it still. So I'm just trying to do some quick math in my head to kind of see where everybody is at the moment. And the real loser tonight, I think, coming out of Kansas, might be the 52 of Adam Lang. Adam currently in the 3rd position with 2,045 points. Remember, it's only 12 points back to 12th. Adam's currently running back in the 17th position, and he's 1 lap down. We see Andy Kurtz just behind Adam Lang, and Kurtz is currently in the 9th position, so you can see just how far back Lang is from your leader, Chris McLean. Jake Ellingson trying to get around Kai Shappert in the Ford machine here. Couple lap down cars, but still fighting hard for a position. This is a battle for 18th place. Speaking of battles, Fry Hubbard was looking underneath Tracy Parsons, trying to take that 2nd position away. Tracy able to stay out in front. Now Hubbard's looking up to the high side because the low side didn't work, so why not try the high side? And as Chris McLean comes through turns 3 and 4, when he comes across the stripe this time, we'll have just 15 laps to go. And Chris McLean's lead continues to grow as he is now over 5 seconds over these two, who just won't give up on each other. Fry continue to look down underneath Tracy Passions. Trying to look high, trying to look low, but nothing's able to work for him. As these guys just stalled out behind Tracy. Right along with Tracy, you can hear how much he's got to lift now. Earlier in the race, they were able to stay wide open. Fry looking high, looking low, looking everywhere as he can, but just not able to pull up alongside of Tracy here. I mentioned before, Fry is so much better through turns 1 and 2. But Tracy so much better through 3 and 4, and you're seeing that right now. Fry's able to get that run down the backstretch. But Tracy's able to get back into the gas. Oh, this time not so much. They continue to battle side by side. Almost some contact between these two. So Fry almost able to get alongside Tracy Passions, but just not able to make it work. As next time they cross the stripe, we'll have just 10 laps to go here at Kansas. Fry Hubbard looking back down to the inside. Trying to use the lap car as a pick. They come down the backstretch. Tracy able to stay up in front. Now he's going to get around the 50 machine of John Schmiel. Fry Hubbard, though, throwing it down to the bottom, making it a 3 wide. Trying to take over that second position. Here comes Tracy, though, now fighting hard on the outside. And able to keep Fry Hubbard behind him. And now I think we're at the point where Fry's going to try to take out all the stops. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Fry maybe try to move Tracy here a little bit. As Mclean crosses the stripe, we have just 8 laps to go. Again, Mclean's lead over 6.5 seconds. We can show you that on the map here. The green highlighted vehicle, that's Chris Mclean. And we go back to Tracy, who is just coming off of coming through turns 3 and 4. As Chris is coming across the line. So, quite a big lead right now still for the 05 of Chris Mclean. And Tracy doing everything he can to hold off Fry Hubbard. As Tracy and Fry are going to come up on some more lap traffic. I saw the 44 of Hitman Manzo. As well as I believe the 4 of Kai Shepard up there as well. Scott Adcock says, keep the hammer down, Tracy. which he has been, and now he's starting to pull away from Fry just a little bit. As last time by, he was a tenth of a second faster than Fry was. That time by, he was 3/10 of a second faster. So Tracy Passage is now starting to pull away from Fry Hubbard. A little further back, Jerry Barrault continues the battle here with Steve McDonald. Barrault trying to move up into the 4th position. McDonald trying to stay in the 4th position. Kevin Kinder says it's been a great race. It has been a great race. Some hard racing all through the field. As we're seeing Barrault take a dive down to the bottom, trying to get underneath McDonald. Now Barrault all the way up against the wall here, trying to get that truck wound up. Trying to get the best run off the corner he can. We have just 3 laps to go. Back up front, Chris McLean continues to lead, and he's just on cruise control with almost a 6-second lead over Tracy Passons. You see Tracy now has a lap car between him and Fry Hubbard. That'd be the 114 of Travis Bieber right there. As we have 2 laps to go. And as our leader works his way through turns 3 and 4, on to the front stretch, white flag will be in the air. Just 1 lap to go here for Chris McLean. McLean's run well all season long, just did not have the finishes at the end that he was hoping to have. And as he works his way through turns 3 and 4, after an absolutely dominating performance, Chris McLean comes off of turn number 4. And Chris will be your winner here at Kansas. Tracy Passons, Fry Hubbard, they're going to finish 2nd and 3rd. Jeremy Barrault comes home in 4th. Steve McDonald in 5th. And then a gaggle of cars behind. But it's all about your winner tonight, the 05 of Chris McLean. He drifts it through the corner, already starting his celebration. Lane celebrates here on the front stretch with a long burnout down the front stretch. And here they come. The Demolition Derby begins. Oh, Loving up into the fence. Let's take a look at your results here. As Chris McLean is your winner. Tracy Passage comes home in 2nd. Fry Hubbard, Jerry Barrault, Steve McDonald round out the top 5. Michael Kosick, Daniel Stewart, Andy Kurtz, Ryan Huff, and Eric Burkholter, your top 10. Steve Loving, Brandon Pollock, James Jones, Matt Kleeman, Josh Anderson, your top 15. Then John Smeal. John Smeal, Adam Lang, Jake Ellingson, Tyler DeTalon, and Travis Bieber, your top 20. 21st, Kai Schapper. 22nd, Hitman Manzo. 23rd, Mike Barossa Jr. 24th, Charlie Gates Jr. Greg Froden comes home 25th, and Michael Swink in the 26th position. And let's see if we can talk to see Baralt doing his own little burnouts there. Let's see if we can talk to our top three. Here we've got Fry Hubbard in the waiting room. Fry, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Fry, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Man, it's going well. Great job tonight, coming home in the third position. And tight, hard race out there. It looked like you and Tracy were battling pretty hard there at the end. Just not able to take over that second position, but a great race for you. Overall, how were you expecting this race to go as long green flag as it did? And did you kind of have a strategy planned out for that?
No, I didn't really have a strategy. I was kind of hoping for a long green flag run. That's the way it panned out, which was great. I love running with these guys, man. You know, I kind of screwed myself early there in the race. I hit the wall, and I had to get a fast repair. I've not used a fast repair all year, and it's the first time I had to use fast repair, and I think I used it on lap 30, and I was like, this is probably going to be a bad night, but ended up panning out for me, and I was able to make it back up to the field there.
Yeah, and I saw that damage. I thought that damage came from the contact between you and Daniel Stewart, but it was actually you getting up into the wall. So it's good to know it wasn't just the damage there. But the racing out there seemed really clean. But there's a lot of hard racing. But it was nice to see all the give and take there, and a great way for you to come home in third place tonight.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, these guys, man, every one of them, we're all running for a championship, and these guys, man, there's probably 20 of them here in the Outlaws that could probably win it this year. They're all great drivers, and I enjoy racing with them every week.
Well, as you say that, the playoffs here looks like you've solidly cemented yourself into the round of 8. So congratulations on that. And before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to all the lead sponsors, all the admins, Mesa Motorsports, Shappy Edits, Smell Racing Designs for doing the paint job on my truck, Mike, uh, Magic Mike's Motorsports, Seth Griffin, and I want to thank uh, Griff for taking over this lead from Matt. He's done an awesome job. It's my first interview, but Griff has done a great job with this lead, and Kinder Farm and Ranch, man.
Well, awesome, man. Again, congratulations on the third place finish. And as we move on next week, I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks, bro.
That was your third place finisher, Fry Hubbard. Let's bring in Tracy Passons, your second place finisher. Tracy, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, Josh. How you doing?
Man, it seems like we're talking to you on the regular every week now, but I can tell congratulations for cementing yourself into the top 8 next week. That's got to feel pretty good to get that out of the way right off the bat.
Yes, sir. It does feel good. Thank you.
And that long green flag run kind of played into some people's hands, and looks like it played right into yours. As not just are you the second place finisher tonight, but you are also the Ray Cobb hard charger tonight. So didn't have the best of qualifying tonight, but able to get yourself back up to the front. Did that long green flag run really help you as far as that goes?
To be honest with you, I don't know what I was doing wrong in practicing and all that, but when the race turns green, seems like I seem to find something, and sometimes I lose it, sometimes I keep it.
Well, great job for you, able to come home tonight in second. And Chris Mclean just seemed to be the class of the field. Where you kind of hoping for a green or a yellow flag to come out there, maybe to get you an opportunity to get back up there?
Well, Chris is my friend, and he's good, and I don't know if I had 4 or 5 more yellow flags, it'd help me. It's pretty good.
Fair enough. Well, before we let you go, Tracy, anybody you guys thank, any shout you got to give?
Yeah, let me give a shout out to you for broadcasting it, and the Rebels Racing, and Mesna Motorsports, Shappy Addicts, and Kinder Farm and Ranch, and Smell Racing Design, Magic Mike Motorsports, Seth Griff, Peg Leg Felt, and P&J Motorsports, and my team, Dirt Affliction. And I appreciate you finding time to do this every night for us on Sunday. You
Yeah,
do a real good job.
well, I enjoy coming out here every Sunday night. It's enjoyable for me, and I appreciate the kind words. And hopefully, we'll talk to you again soon next week as we move
Yeah,
on into the round of 8.
tell Chris if I'd had fresh tires, I'd have got him and see what he said.
Will do. Have a great one.
All right, take care.
So that was Tracy Passions, your second place finisher. Let's bring in Chris Mclean, your winner tonight. Chris, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me? Chris, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got a copy.
There you are. Hey, congratulations on the win tonight. You know, luck hasn't been on your side for these most of the season, but able to get up into the top spot tonight. And long green flag runs kind of threw a few people for a loop. It played into other people's favors tonight. And did that play into your favors tonight, having the long green flag runs there?
Yeah, it certainly did. I really didn't think it was going to go that way because of the way the truck drives here. But I jumped in, didn't get no practice. Basically, jumped in right at qualifying and was able to put a pretty good qualifying effort down. And I was just patient there. Me and Adam was battling a little bit, but we wasn't really hurting the tires too bad. We was just kind of side by side racing and giving the fans a good show. But I knew I could tell once you get about 20 laps on the tires that they were starting to fall back a little bit. So I just maintained that throughout the whole race and kept the tires under the truck and just tried to put together a good race, and it worked out for me.
For sure, and able to put on a huge gap there at the end, over 6 seconds over Tracy. I asked Tracy if he had anything there for you at the end, if a yellow would have came out, and he said that if a yellow would have come out and he would have put fresh tires on it, he would have had you there at the end. And I don't know, what do you think about that?
I think he might be dreaming a little bit, but it's his lie. Let him tell it how he wants to.
Well, again, congratulations on the win tonight. Anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give before we let you go?
Yeah, man. Just got to give a shout out to you in the booth, man. You do a good job every Sunday. It makes it really interesting to go back and watch the race, the next day. But all the guys over at Po-Man Motorsports, One Up Motorsports, Rebels, they put together a great league. I ain't always able to. I'm normally working on Sunday night, so I ain't been able to make it. I'm hoping next year I can make a run for the championship and put together a full season. But yeah, all these guys, man, they great. All the racers, they did a good job tonight. It's fun, clean race.
Yeah, as I said before, all the races I've seen you in before that you have made, you've always been up there at the front. Some bad luck bites you, but able to put one together here tonight, so that's got to feel pretty good.
Yes, sir. It does. I'm glad to snag that win. And Kansas is one of my better tracks. I was a little worried there on them long green flag runs because it was right there of being, able to have a two-stop race on the end, and I was just trying to stretch that fuel. And I ended up getting down to the bottom and just making consistent laps on the bottom, saving as much fuel as possible. And I was able to stretch it to around lap 92, which I knew would get me to the end. But I was a little worried about it there at the beginning of that run.
Well, again, congratulations, and I'm sure the next race we see you in, we'll be talking to you again soon.
Thank you, buddy.
So that was your winner tonight, Chris Mclean. Again, congratulations to him with a dominating performance here at Kansas Speedway. Don't forget to stick around. We'll be going back live in about 15 minutes or so as we'll bring back the original Rebels Truck Series. So stay tuned for that. And in the chat, yes, Jacob Robinson did the King of Kansas. Good job, Chris Mclean. Paul Passion says, good, clean race. It was a great race. Kevin Kinder even says it's been a great race. So congratulations to our top three. Congratulations to all our drivers. I apologize for not having an updated point standings as of right now to see who moves on to next week. But stay tuned for our next one, and we'll see if we'll have that worked out for you. And until then, until the next race, as our boy Atlan Weiss would say, over